Coming from a Puerto Rican household, I love everything that has to do with my culture. Whether it be our yearly Puerto Rican parade in Humboldt Park, repping my culture through my clothing, listening to Hector Lavoe or Bad Bunny, etc. The one that sticks with me the most is our food slash recipes. Just thinking about the food makes my stomach growl, mouth drooling, hell, even my toes curling. Being able to enjoy my culture is what I love the most and is a part of my identity. However, it only takes two words to soon crack that identity. ¿Hablas español? Those two words just took all happiness in my heart and soon drained me to what was now replaced with shame. All I could do was mutter the only words I knew by heart to that man on that train station that day. Perdón, pero yo no hablo mucho español. I watched his face went from hopeful to just plain neutral. As I watched him grab his phone for Google Translate, the feeling of guilt and shame soon placed itself in my being once more. Since I was young, I could recall certain words in Spanish such as basura, cama, toalla, casa, etc. When I started school, it was all child's play. I spoke English back and forth with my friends as that was the literacy I was proficient in, the literacy that I learned. As we began to get older, however, I began to see the gap between some of my classmates and I. As they spoke their native tongue, I stood on the sidelines, completely confused. I thought if only I could speak Spanish, I would be able to make more friends and conversate with them more. My friends would speak Spanish to me, and once they realized I couldn't, they took advantage of that at points and would call me certain things. There was a day I recall when I snitched on my classmates, Rudy and Angel, for an incident we all did. Yes, I snitched, drag me all you want, but anywho. As I was waiting in line for lunch, all I heard was Angel approach me and began to speak Spanish. Of course, all I did was awkwardly smile and also did that awkward little laugh when my eyes squinted. However, there was one word that stood out to me. Rata. I was confused, obviously. Thankfully, though, there was a girl named Karen who translated what that word meant, and she told me that they had called me a rat. Now, thinking about it now, it's not that big of a deal, but younger me, like 9-year-old me, was terrified. I thought that if she wasn't there, I would have never known. And I then realized how many times people backtalked me and got away with this since I couldn't speak Spanish. Throughout my life, I was always told many times by my peers and even sometimes by my own mom that I was not Hispanic because I could not speak Spanish. When I was at home, I would try to converse in what broken Spanish I had, by my own mom, gringa or americana. As much as I wanted to be angry, I knew it was true. As I tried speaking my native tongue, I felt my tongue get stuck on the roof of my mouth, as the next syllable I wanted to say sounded more and more broken than the last. Every word that I saw on a page or in a text message began to make my brain try to unscramble what little I can get out of it. Every new Spanish word I learned soon joined into my broken vocabulary, mixing in whenever I speak English, such as pero instead of but, buenas tardes instead of good morning, and te amo mucho instead of I love you very much. In freshman year, I felt completely embarrassed having to sign up for Spanish 1. I mean, seriously, a Hispanic having to sign up for a Spanish class? It was almost as if I had just stuck a paper on my back, confirming more that I was a gringa. As I opened the same Spanish textbook for the rest of the year, I began to build my vocabulary words, and that I've learned at least once in my life from my family around me. Ventana, amor, mejor, hermano, vida, trabajo, corazón, and the list continues. I was just asked this year, last month, by a Lewis University classmate in my academic reading class. She asked, "Don't you get upset when you're called a no Sabo Kid?" I replied with no, only because I can be upset as much as I want. However, it's not going to change me not knowing how to speak the language. I replied also that I could blame my mother, saying that she didn't teach me Spanish first and had me learn English at school. I could blame it on my classmates that instead of laughing at me and making fun of the way I pronounce words, they could have helped me understand it better. I could blame my Spanish teacher from high school for being a Guatemalan teacher teaching a bunch of Mexican and Puerto Rican kids from a Spain Spanish book. However, the only blame I can place is on me. To this day, I struggle with saying the simplest of words, still feeling that heaviness in my words, feeling like my tongue does not even belong in my mouth every time I speak. Now, I know I might not be fluent, but I will always continue to try to be able to speak the language of my people. And when someone comes up to me asking, ¿Hablas español? I will confidently say, sí, yo hablo español.